Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? Rooster here in Tennessee, looking at another piece of equipment today. Today we're looking at a Firebird F-500, commonly known as the Firebird 500. One of my favorite tube configurations. Some of you guys know, one 6LQ6 pushing three 6LQ6s. For some reason, they just stand up and do really good. The Thunderbolt 305 uses this configuration, and it's my favorite sweep tube amp of all time. Now, that being said, we're going to do an output test and everything on this one, see what it does. The significant thing about this amp is the cosmetic shape it's in. Now, you'll see, obviously, our little meter up here has given up on us sometime or another. But besides that, this amp is extremely nice inside and out. And when I pop the covers here in a second, you'll see what I'm saying. Missing a screw there. I think that hole's stripped out. But as far as dents, dings, paint, and especially inside is where this thing really shines. This is easily the nicest example of a Firebird 500 I've ever seen. Now, when it came in, it wasn't functioning properly, had some issues with it. Since it's had a complete keying circuit rebuild, it's had two brand new coax connectors put on the back. You can see them nice and shiny there. Fuse holder was replaced. Yep, fuse holder was replaced. Gosh, I'm trying to think what else was done to it. Basically I wouldn't say a rebuild on the inside, but an extreme revamp. It hasn't had new tubes put in it. It could probably use a new set of tubes. They're not flat, but I've definitely seen these do more power. I do have brand new 6LQ6s that I would sell if somebody wanted to buy them. Also, if you're cheap, you don't want to spend a lot of money on tubes. 6K M6s will probably work in here. They're not going to do as much power, but they'll probably work. Anyway, I'm going to pause this video, guys, and what we'll do, we'll pop the top cover and show you the inside of it, and then we'll show you the bottom side of it. Anyway, give me a second, and we'll be right back. Okay, continuing where we left off, here is a look inside the inside of it. Now, I haven't detail cleaned it or anything, so obviously, it could use a detailed clean, but I haven't done anything like that to it. But you can tell how nice this amp is on the inside. It could use just a little slight wipe down with a rag, and it'll probably come pretty clean. Really nice amp. Nothing smoked, burn up. Honestly, minimal dust. It's just got a little bit of grime built up over time. But there's your three output 6LQ6s over there, and then your one driver 6LQ6 over here. Now, you can see here, one tuner per section. So you've got a tuner over here that controls your three outputs, tuner over here that controls your single driver. They don't both control the whole amp, they just control different sections of the amp. But give me a second, I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to put the top cover back on, that way I don't have a million screws floating around out here. Well, let's see. I guess I'll have to leave the top cover off because it screws into the bottom cover here. So give me a second, I'll flip this thing up on its side, take these screws out of the bottom, and show you guys a bottom shot of it. After we do that, I'll hook a radio up and we'll test it, and we'll see what it'll do. All right, be right back. All right, there we go, guys. Here we are looking at the bottom. I knew I forgot something, and it was these caps being replaced. These capacitors down here were also replaced. The ones that were in it were bad, old blue ones, and they were no good. Almost every component, well, actually every component on this little board down here that we're looking at, on the reverse side of it, has been replaced. Coax connectors replaced. Relay was cleaned up. It was being a little grabby, didn't want to unkey sometimes, so it was cleaned up. But everything else pretty self-explanatory in it. Like I said, if you thought the top side was nice and clean, the bottom side is immaculate. This is a 40 to 50 year old amp. Sometimes I forget that it's 2021, so, you know, 1970, you know, 1970s and 80s is 40 and 50 years ago. But a really nice amp. I mean, you can tell how clean everything is in it. It hasn't been abused. It really just needed some TLC from not being ran in so long was the main issue with it. Obviously, always a good idea to replace the capacitors in something this old. But yep, nice amp, guys. And you know what? Somebody may be interested in this. I've got a local that showed some interest in it. I don't know if he'll end up taking it or not, but I want to take it apart and take some pictures for him anyway. But somebody may be interested in this that just happens to have some 6LQ6s laying around. What you can also do, if you have the knowledge to do it, you can convert this amp to run 24 volt tubes and 31 volt tubes. So 24 LQ6s, 31 LQ6s, and you'll see a little bit more power out of those generally. But and I do have a stack full of those as well. What I'll do, I'll put both covers back on, guys. Get me a radio in here to test it, and we will put it on the Bird over here and see what we can get out of it. Let me get these covers back on, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back looking at our Firebird 500 here. Got it hooked up, going to run my trusty old Washington into it, which is something like what I would recommend running into one of these. You may see a little more power if you run something a little stouter, but the Washington does 25-30 watts. Does good average power, good peak power, so runs really good with one of these guys. Again, we'll test it on average, we'll test it on peak. This thing does have a high and low, but it's just basically for the carrier, and sideband delay does work. Heck, we may even show what it does on sideband, but let's start with AM here. Operate mode, we're powered on. You can go to standby, like if you don't want to run the amp, you want to let it cool off or whatever, go down to standby, but we're in operate, we're on high power for the dead key. We've got a Bird 43 with a 500 watt slug. No peak kit right now. So we're looking at the middle scale. The 50 is 500. We are on AM. Audio. We are on AM mode. Dead key in about 40 or so. Audio. Hello, audio. AM. Audio into it just right, about 175 average. But safely 150 average to 160 average. We'll go to peak. Again, this is in AM mode. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, audio, right at 350 watts. Audio test, 1, 2, 3. Now it's not falling back, so that means we don't have necessarily a bad tube. However, audio 1, 2, 3, audio 1, 2, 3. I would like to have seen about 50 to 75 more watts out of this thing, but it's holding good at 350. Audio test, audio. Maybe just a smidge more. Okay, now what we're going to do is go to sideband. Come over here. We'll go to sideband on the amp. Check it on sideband. Hello, audio, right in line. 350 watts on sideband. Audio. You see our relay's not chattering, so our sideband delay is working. Audio test, 1, 2, 3. Audio test, 1, 2, 3. Audio, 1, 2, 3. And then there's the unkey. Nice amp. I'm hoping my local buys it that was interested in it. However, if he doesn't, it will be up for sale with the tubes that are in it, of course. Or if you want a brand new set of 6LQ6s, I'll be more than happy to sell them to you. Of course, they're a little pricey. They can go $50 or upwards. You know, if somebody bought a whole set, I'd probably do a little better. But that's it, guys. Firebird F-500. I know this video is running almost 10 minutes long, but I want to show the inside, the outside, everything about it, because I really think it'll make somebody a nice amp to keep And I took this thing down to grinder, and he said, "Oh, you're going to keep this one, aren't you?" He said, "Man, that's a nice one." He said, "That'd be a real nice one to keep." And I'm like, you know, I really don't have a place to use it. I'm not going to stop using my Thunderbolt for it. But again, only issue right here, this little meter here. Get a replacement meter for it, you know, you'd be good as new. But Firebird F-500. Questions, comments, complaints, let me know. Just a reminder, March 27th, 2020, we're holding our first break for the Skip Chasers. Exit 20, Cleveland, Tennessee, Tri-State Expedition Center, probably a quarter mile, half a mile off the exit. Going to be doing some more videos relating to that later on, but I hope to see everybody from every state there. Rooster in Tennessee, catch you guys on the flip. See you, bye.